Here we go. Can you hear it? We're waiting for the streaming to start. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. We are on Facebook. I'm looking, and we are on YouTube. And that means I can actually find the music for this show if I can find it. And here we go. Welcome, Jason K. So you want to be a cool kid, a cool dude, hanging with the inset. He's here, looking real cool and fine. Casting your net. Hey, Marine. So you want to be? Wait for the drum roll. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you very much, my good friend Serge Huffman. Bonnie D, happy so much to be here with my new best friend. We've been talking for about 18 and a half minutes. I've never met this man before, but I read about him. I learned about him through our mutual contact, Mickey Mickelson, Creative Edge PR in Canada. This man doesn't even live in Canada. Jason K, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Bonnie. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I have a special welcome. And I want you to make sure you're sitting down, you have your seatbelt on, because I don't know whether you're going to like this or not, Jason, but I would like to introduce you my own special way. Are you ready?
I am.
Here we go. Okay. You may know us well, Bonnie D and Jason K, Kristopher with a K, too. Seasoned in life, we love what we do. From social channels, virtual embrace, we love sharing insights in our special place. Now on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Jason K, a truly cool dude. Here's my rhyming intro. He'll add more when I'm done with attitude. Here we go. From Lubbock skies where horizons run wide, Jason found wonder he couldn't hide. Books, Lincoln logs, and Lego sprawl. He built whole worlds before he could crawl. In North Texas dirt, Jason dreamed up scenes, then moved to Colorado's mountain greens. By seventh grade, he grabbed the pen, declared, I'm a writer again and again and again. College? CIS had its fleeting call, but real life swooped in to break the fall. From hotels to health clubs, retail and cheese, Jason worked odd jobs with humor and ease. Quizmaster nights were a trivia thrill. Geeks who drink? Jason hosted with skill. With hecklers tipsy and team names uncouth, he scored points with his comic truth. Then came End, his first book. It burst, years in the making, bold and cursed. Jason quit his job, went all in with his mind. But 9 months later, he was back to the grind. He tech wrote by day, still fiction bound, launched Gray Gecko to get books found. No more begging at New York City's gate. Jason carved his path, he made his fate. Back to school, he earned that degree, proved that better late beats never, maybe. Moved to Florida for ships below sea, but writing full-time won out, naturally. He met his love at a board game night. Then years later, bam, it all felt just right. From zombies, paint by numbers kits, and dreams afar, Jason's still a gamer, reaching for a star. From Haleakala's, I hope I said that right, dawn lit descent to Italy solo on joy he is bent. Jason dreams of Fiji, Wilson's Isle aglow, and tales where mummies and monsters grow. He's stocked with plots till age 93, a fantasy world in a trilogy spree. A dinner with Tolkien would be just the best. Jason's a cool dude with grit and geeky zest. So meet Jason K, a cool dude, no doubt, with tales that twist and muses that sprout. From Lego to prose and zombie flights, he turns life's chaos into literary delights. Jason, what'd you think?
That was excellent. That was really good. There's a lot of surprises in there, even for me. And I lived it all.
And it was, I know,
It's
I
my
have
life,
guests,
but
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
guests who say, what? Who is that person? There you go. So I'm going to finish with my four-liner left. We're here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. We won't be here. That's why they invited on demand. And join our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Your comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are, you know. We dish two saucy dame and cool dude too, Bonnie D and Jason K, dishing on life's fun, pour vu for you. So welcome officially. Has anybody ever
Thank
introduced you
you.
quite like that, Jason?
I can honestly say no. Nobody
Good,
has quite introduced me in that sort of way. No, but
good.
it's great. It's fantastic.
I'm glad. So now, anything I missed? Is there anything else you would like to add? I said you'd add it with attitude. Is there anything you'd like to highlight, the Quizmaster or the books? Tell us about what you're writing, your genres. Come on, give us a little more, please.
Well, you did ask me to tell you that it's a Haleakala.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
so not that it
I
matters,
tried.
but yeah, no, it's unless you know, you wouldn't know, you know. But
You know,
yeah, it's that was fantastic. I actually used to write some poetry in high school, like I think all angsty teenagers do, and it's not very good. So I went with a different way with it.
tell me about your books.
I the primary series I'm known for is The Dying of the Light. It's a zombie apocalypse series. Begins with the book End, then moves to interval with book two, and the third book is Beginning. So it's actually inspired by Hawaii. The Arizona Memorial in Hawaii, it's short in the middle and then expands out toward the end. And if you look at it, you can see that. And the designer said that was because it's supposed to symbolize initial defeat and eventual victory, and that's what the series was named for. It. The initial defeat is the end of the world, and then victory is the beginning of the world. I've got a short story collection set in that same universe, which is technically book four. I'm currently working on a boy meets Griffin meets robot adventure for about 7 years. I've been working on this book. My current active work in progress is called Loco Moco, which is a 1948 noir thriller set on the island of Oahu, which is proving very difficult to write correctly. So,
Where
uh,
does all this come from? Zombies and griffins? Where something, anything in your childhood? What started you on this path? What lit that up in your brain, Jason? I'm curious.
I have to say it was my parents who encouraged me my entire childhood to use my imagination, whether it was, as you said, with Legos and Lincoln Logs and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. But just I've been telling stories. I recently was cleaning out my office closet, which I found a story. I can't really pull it up right now, but it was called Jim Bob Dandy and His Pet Schnoozlewanger, which was written when
Oh,
I'm guessing from the penmanship around seven, so maybe eight.
wow. That's
Yeah,
quite a title for a 7 year
I
old.
I know, right? And
Wow.
the story is exactly what you would expect, but that tells me I've been writing for a very long time and telling stories even before that. So my parents were really great about that. Actually, they were always, well, tell me a story, or, show me what you've built, or in another life I might have been an engineer or an architect.
What did your parents do that encouraged this, that they were open to storytelling? Can you share that?
Yeah, my mom was an English teacher for a very long time,
Okay.
and then she ended up working for the state doing various different things in Texas. My dad was a derrickman. He was an oil guy right before
Mm.
he finally got through with his own schooling and ended up becoming a data management specialist, and now he's into data modeling and stuff. And he's retired now, but yeah, he started making a lot of money with that, much more than you would make in the oil field. But
Yeah.
he's always telling stories himself, and he always had an active imagination. And both my parents are very intelligent, and they were both. They didn't. I would don't want to say they lived in their heads, but they had very active imaginations too. So they were right
Interesting.
there with me, which really helped.
But zombies, where did that come from? I want to
Oh,
know. Come on. Was it a
zombies.
movie? Was it a book you read? Was it
It,
a movie you saw? What was it?
it was definitely a movie, but it's weird because I don't like horror movies. But as long as it's zombie movies, I'm fine. I mean, they can get as gory as they want in a zombie movie, and it doesn't bug me.
Oh, excuse
But
me.
yeah, I know, right? Even things like 28 Days Later or 28 years later, which are have a lot of jump scares and stuff like that. I'm not big on jump scares even in zombie movies, but
Wait a minute. What is a jump scare?
it's where you're going along blah 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 blah. That's a jump
Okay.
scare. And
Okay.
it's a cheap tactic, I think, for most
Okay.
directors. It can be used sometimes well, but for me, it just doesn't work very well. But
Interesting.
my first zombie movie that I have uh, a real memory of watching is actually Day of the Dead, which is the third in George Romero's series.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and watched Night of the Living Dead, obviously, and then Dawn of the Dead, and those four, those so forth and so on. And something about zombies just,
Just
I don't know,
clicked.
something clicked. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And it fascinates me how you can use zombies as a mirror for society, and
Oh,
similar to Star Trek. You know, if
yep,
you, I'm a huge nerd, and so
yep,
uh, Star Trek. One of the best things about Star Trek is that it talks about society in a way that allows you to say just about anything about modern society because it's set so far in the future.
yep.
You know, with the kiss between Bill Shatner and Nichelle Nichols, which wasn't really a kiss, but it was a kiss. So, you know, I mean, that's a good societal mirror. But zombies also, because if you look at things like The Walking Dead, it's not the zombies that are The Walking Dead. It's the humans in the story that the title refers to. And I think that just gives you a lot of opportunity for really good storytelling.
Very interesting. Thank you. That's a good literary commentary there. That's some insider,
Sure.
shall we say, cliff notes or liner notes. I'll go with liner notes. Speaking of liner notes, I'm looking for a good segue here. First part of our show is let's talk about music. So I'd
Mm.
love to know some of the music that has accompanied you on your journey, your path, your life, some of your favorite songs, songs that define you as a cool. Do you think you're a cool dude, Jason? Excuse me.
I think for a given definition of cool, you know,
I'm calling you cool,
all
okay?
right, I'll take
There
it.
you
I'll
go.
take
You
it.
you write what you want, you lead life the way you want to. You've come through all kinds of storytellings and fantasy. You've got multiple careers. You're very passionate about what you do. I think you're a cool dude. Can you accept that definition? Jason, you just froze.
Yeah, it
Okay.
looked like my internet dropped there for a second.
Okay.
So
Did you hear my definition of cool?
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And by that
Okay, good.
definition, I'm definitely cool. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, good. Whew, that was a close one. Okay, so tell me some of your favorite music and then I'll tell you mine. Go ahead.
I think I was born somewhat in some ways in the wrong century, or at least in the wrong decade. I'm a huge fan of big band music and you know, the classics. And when I say classics, I'm not talking about classic rock. I'm talking about big band classics, 30s, 40s, stuff like that. One of my favorite songs is Over the Rainbow. You know, and that is just, when that's done right, it's so moving. But then I also listen to a lot of modern stuff. I even have when I want to pump myself up, I have a time to go to war playlist. And so I have things like Vox Populi by 30 Seconds to Mars on there. And even um, Fought and Lost with Brian May it's by Sam Ryder from the show Ted Lasso. And if you haven't watched Ted Lasso,
Of course I did.
you
And you
got to
know
watch
they
Ted
they
Lasso.
broke their they broke their arc, 3 season arc, and they're coming back with
I
more
do. Yeah, please.
because so many of
Please.
us loved it so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Hannah Waddingham is
interesting.
one of my favorite people on earth, I got to tell you.
Have you seen
So
some of her performance videos? Yeah.
I have.
I think
Yeah.
she did a Christmas show on
She
some
did.
big stage, and yeah, she's singing and gorgeous,
Yeah.
just gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's
It
a
gives you
bright light on the
chills.
show. Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think of her romance with Sam?
I thought they told it well.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
think,
Tasteful, tasteful.
yeah, it is tasteful. It could have been it could have been a problem in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
But I think that they did it really, really well. And those two actors are incredible. So, you
Yep.
know, all around it was just great.
The
I
whole
have no
show.
negative feedback on Ted Lasso at all. Any of the
I've
episodes.
never heard anybody have, and I have several guests on my shows where I ask for a fictional quote to lead into the topic. A lot of people have quoted Ted Lasso in
Hmm.
particular, mostly Ted
Barbecue
Lasso.
sauce.
Very, very, oh, the goldfish quotes
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
kinds of things. Very, and it's always fun for me to look them up and get the background around the quote because I enjoy going back and looking at some of those episodes and finding the clips. Any other songs you want to talk about? A big band, come on. You seriously? We're talking Benny Goodman and Tommy Dorsey, and we're talking
Hmm.
from that era.
Hmm. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you dance?
I do not,
Okay.
or at least I haven't yet. So,
Well,
um,
it's coming up on your dance card. I used to teach dancing years ago, and I taught. I did exhibition dancing, mostly hustle and line dances, but I also taught Lindy, which was
Oh,
East
the
East
Lindy
Coast
Hop.
swing, not
Yeah,
West Coast. West Coast was different.
sure.
Cha-cha, mambo, that was before it was called salsa, hustle, and line dances. And cha-cha was one of my favorites. Foxtrot a little bit, but swing. And there's nothing like dancing to
I
uh, In the
I
Mood. Do
I,
you
I
know In the
want to get
Mood?
it. I do. I want to get a zoot suit. I'm telling you, I want a custom made zoot suit.
Get good shoes for a dance floor. There's nothing
Yeah.
like Lindy. You can find some incredible Lindy dancers on YouTube from all
Oh,
eras, and there's some couples who make it look like they're doing a ballet, a sculpture ballet. It's
sure.
unbelievable. Go find those. You'll love them.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Yeah, I mean, I love all of that stuff. Dad told me I should have been born, early enough to enjoy the music of World War II without without being late enough to actually have to fight in World War II.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's that meme that goes around. My partner was just commenting on it the other day. That meme that goes around at some point in a man's life, he gets really interested in World War II. And apparently
Interesting.
that's for every guy. And I just went back and rewatched Band of Brothers, and I'm
Oh
working through the
my.
Pacific right now. So I
Oh
would not
my.
want it. I would not have wanted to be in the war, but the music
No.
from the war is great. Yeah. So
Isn't
that
that interesting? Is
even the
it?
hairstyles, I like the hairstyles. So
Well, you've got a nice hairstyle, but we'll leave that.
oh,
You're one of the
thank
few
you.
people who can wear a headset. See, I keep my microphone handy here.
Sure,
I don't want to crush these. Anyway, so would you like to hear some of my music?
absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm a big fan of 1978, the top 100. I'm not going to read all 100 songs, but my discography of my life goes in interesting ways. I'll just throw a couple songs out. I'm sure you've heard of some of them. Well, this one won't surprise you. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. That's
Sure,
not going to surprise you
sure.
at all. This one was interesting. Me and Bobby McGee, Janis Joplin,
Yeah,
1971. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to
nothing left to
lose.
lose.
I always want to put my fist up on that one. And then on the flip side of that, Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and you
Hmm.
can see where that's coming from.
Yeah,
Respect, Aretha Franklin, and I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. And then the
yeah,
capper for that set is New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. I got a new hat, I got new
yeah,
shoes, I got a new attitude.
yeah,
You have to have a new attitude sometimes when you've had somebody take their best shot and no respect, and you saying,
yeah,
I will
yeah,
survive, but you need an attitude. Me and Bobby
yeah.
McGee, I love that song. And then, well, I'll get to the 78 songs in a second, but Donna Summer was somebody in the early disco era. She was the queen of disco. And
I'm 50 years old. I know who Donna Summer was.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I looked at her discography and I realized that a lot of her songs are the story of my lifetime. She works hard for the money.
Sure,
I have.
sure,
Hot stuff. I've never been a streetwalker in San Francisco, but I've been called hot stuff in my time. I know who's
sure.
counting. On the radio, I still call this radio, Jason. I've been doing this for 20,
Yeah,
25 years. And I
yeah,
started when I was doing corporate live stream radio on the phone with people calling in on the phone. And we didn't have Zoom.
yeah.
And
Right.
you know
Yes.
something? I had to wait to think, did Jason take a pause because he's clearing his throat? Was that a comma, a semicolon, a dash? Is he done with his sentence or is he thinking about what else is he going to say? Should I speak now? And I had to learn to read the audio cues of my guests when I had three people or more on the phones calling in for a round table. It was an art to that. And then, of
Yeah.
course, Donna Summer song "No More Tears." That goes with, "Hit Me with Your Best Shot." That was her duet, I think, with Streisand. Enough is enough is enough. Love that song. Then "Last Dance." I don't dance professionally anymore, but dance in my kitchen. It's really fun. I Feel Love with that wonderful background from Giorgio Moroder, that machine, that disco machine. What? Go
Giorgio
ahead.
Moroder is one of my favorite composers. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then Heaven Knows, which was from Donna Summer's MacArthur Park Suite. And she got higher on the charts, the record charts, the hit charts, than Richard Harris did with his original of MacArthur Park Suite. She went higher up
Huh.
on the charts, which is interesting. And Heaven Knows was one of the songs, Heaven Knows Just How Much I Love You. My professional partner, Michael, and I, when we were I was living in Eugene, Oregon, danced in a disco Hawaii contest competition, and our song was Heaven Knows. And I was about 97 pounds, and we made our own costumes, and we came in from opposite sides of the floor. He lifted me up over his head, did the Saturday Night Fever over the head spin, death drop to the floor. My skirt was a 360 circle of black satin. I had little high heels, and I think I probably had no fishnets hurt your feet when you're dancing, but I had dark stockings. And then he set me up on my feet, and we did our routine. We didn't know that the couple who came in first owned their own dance studio. We thought it was an amateur. I know, I know. Well, what are you gonna do when you're dancing at the Copacabana in Eugene, Oregon? What can I tell you?
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
know,
true.
I
That
know.
sounds amazing.
And then some of my favorite songs from 78, you may know some of these, you may have heard of them. Debbie Boone, You Light Up My Life. That's
Yeah,
always a nice song to
I
tell
was born
somebody.
in 75, so my parents
Okay,
listened to the radio and everything.
there you
And the
go.
80s was my favorite, second favorite genre of music is 80s. So
So this is close. And here we
yeah.
got the Rolling Stones, Miss You, da 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 da.
Hmm.
I'm a drummer, recently a drummer, and one of my favorite songs at open mic nights was playing Miss You.
Hmm.
And people would come up with their instruments, and we would form an impromptu band at open mic night. And Miss You was one of my three songs I would bring. Barry Manilow, Can't Smile Without You, and Copacabana at the
Sure.
Copa. And one
Yeah.
more, Andy Gibb, late great from the Bee Gees, the younger brother, Shadow Dancing, and then the
Hmm.
Bee Gees, Night Fever, Staying Alive, and How Deep Is Your Love. And those were some of my favorite songs. So
Yeah, I
now,
actually have the album Darren at the Copa on my shelf in the other room.
well, who's Darren? Who's
Bobby
Bobby?
Darren. Bobby Darren at the Copa, yeah.
Can I buy it? Is it album? Is it on vinyl?
Yeah, it's on vinyl.
I still have a micro Seiki turntable here without anything to hook it up to, with a plexiglass cover that lifts up.
Oh, sure. Mine's not that. I got one that has Bluetooth and everything, but it's still a record player and still uses a needle and everything. So,
Wow, Bobby
yeah.
Darin at the Copa.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is Splash
They're still
Splash on it? What's on it?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I listened to it, but
What was the name
they're
of the?
still making vinyl. I go to the record store
Are
occasionally,
they?
and yeah.
You used to be able to buy a lot of it on at garage sales and
Hmm.
on eBay. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of Queen of the Hop wasn't him. I love the Queen of the Hop. I'm wondering. I remember somewhere beyond the sea. Beyond the
Yeah.
sea.
Beyond the
That was Bob.
Sea and Mac the Knife are my two favorite Bobby Darin songs. Yeah. Yeah.
Show's over. You just stopped the show. I'm in awe. I want that record.
Well, what's funny is every time I hear Beyond the Sea, I think of is it was an objectively horrible movie if you're looking at it in terms of the quality of the script and everything. I love it, but it's bad movies. Joe versus the Volcano. It
Okay.
starred Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan in their first outing together, long before Sleepless in Seattle. And there's a scene where he's on these chests that he's lashed together because he the ship went down and these chests popped it, so the Dell Vikings is playing,
Oh
da
my
da
word.
da da dum ba doo be dum ba 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 ba, and that's for whatever reason Beyond the
Dum
Sea
de
makes
doo
me
be
think of that.
dum bum bum ba
Exactly.
bum dum de doo be dum dum dum. I got my
Yeah.
drums in the other room. Wow. Oh, are you bringing back memories? Oh,
Mm. Yeah, I'm going back a little further than I want to go, really. But
well,
yeah.
that's where I want to go. That's just fine. You're my guest. Let's go.
Sure.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Really, really cool. Well, I want to go to the part of the show. Thank you for the music and thank you for the
Sure.
memories. Part of the show called Off the Top Fast and Furious. We don't have to be fast and we don't have to be furious. And first of all, I want to know what powers you at the start of your day, Jason K? Is it a drink? Is it coffee? Is it food? Do you have breakfast? Something that gets you going and gives you energy for at least the first part of the day. What do you do?
It's coffee. It is a very large. I don't have it with me because I've already drank it, but it's about this big cup of coffee, and it's a big cup. It's like 3 cups of coffee, really. But yeah. And I have no brand loyalty or anything, but just whatever I make the night before, and I'm non-functional before before that. You know, so
Is
if I
it
don't set it up to make the night before, I don't usually have it because it's too hard to make the
interesting?
coffee without the coffee.
Do you make it with a French press or with a pot or how do
Oh,
you
it's a
what is it?
it's a Ninja. I want to say it's a Ninja something or other, but it's amazing because it holds the water, and I can set it with the delay brew, and it's got a bunch of different settings, so you can even make tea with it. Not that I do it very much, but you can even make it down to the cup, and it's got a little stir. I mean, it's
Nice.
incredible. But
Very,
it's just regular drip coffee. It's not French
very
press or
nice.
cold press or
Do you put anything
pour
in
over or
it?
anything.
You put
I use
anything?
creamer.
Okay. Any
Um,
flavor? Special flavor?
just anything other than hazelnut. I do not like hazelnut. So usually French vanilla because that's the zero sugar that I can buy. So
Okay.
um,
Oh,
my
that's
partner's daughter actually says I don't drink coffee. I drink creamer with coffee in it.
yeah, it's got a little coffee tint to it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I'll have another cup of creamer and just put a drop of that wonderful caffeine in there. I need that
Yeah.
pep. Wow, I can't do caffeine anymore. I'm relegated to peppermint tea, and if I can
Oh, okay.
find it, decaf Earl Grey. Caffeine, even one cup will you'll be scraping me off the ceiling in about 20 minutes. It'll last about 3 hours. And
Yeah.
I used to be able to drink 5, 6, 10 cups a day, and I can't even do decaf anymore. But my breakfast, I have to tell you, is a banana milkshake with 8 ounces of 1% milk in an individual Hamilton Beach blender with
Hmm.
a pulse button, doesn't have an on off. And I'll put either a couple ice cubes or a couple of sliced strawberries, not sugared, plain sliced strawberries, but I'm frozen. And then a
Hmm.
banana. Always have to have a banana. And I buy 9 bananas a week because have to keep them till I go to the store the next time. They can't be too green. They can't be speckled. They can't be too yellow because they have to go
They have to be
for
just right. They have
the whole
Cinderella
week.
or snow Goldilocks bananas.
I spend a lot of time. You're right. I spend a lot of time in the banana department in my grocery store. But oh, is this bunch? Well, these have too many speckles on it. And this got some black bruises on. Oh, I'll tear that. Well, put that back. Okay. And then I'll say to the produce guy, "Do you have any fresh bananas?" And he'll bring out some that are so green
Yeah.
you know they're never
The
going to ripen. So
yeah.
those aren't good. And so I blend it. So the banana. Sometimes I cheat and put a little bit of Breyer's homemade vanilla ice cream in it,
I
and then
won't tell anybody.
no, please don't. And then a squirt of raw agave syrup, which is
Hmm.
almost like it's a sweet syrup. It's not
Yeah.
sugar, it's not honey, and it just adds that little tiny touch of sweetness
Yeah.
to the
That's
whole
what you
thing.
need. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
drink it right out of the container, and I
Yeah.
use
And
a
those Hamilton Beach things are great.
it's
They're really, really
wonderful.
good.
I think I'm on my fifth. After a while, they start to leak. The bottom
Yeah.
of the container
Yeah.
leaks, so the motor gets tired. So I think I've got four white ones and 3 red ones. I haven't got a black. I just bought a new white one, and it comes with 2 containers, so I should be able to make it last longer. And the motor sounds a little peppier. And then I put a reusable straw in the
Sure.
container. Take the top off, and that's my that's my power shake every morning. There you go.
I usually have some breakfast. I'll more often than not I have toast and or oatmeal. Sometimes I get a little bit of pep and I make some eggs, but
What
usually
kind of oatmeal? Do you put sugar or brown sugar? You put butter in
uh,
it? What do you
I
put?
it's the only thing I buy off of Amazon anymore. It's gluten-free Quaker oats,
Really?
cinnamon, and maple brown sugar. So
Wow. So do you just add boiling water and that's it, or do you have to
yeah,
cook it?
yeah.
Okay, so instant.
The way I do it is we have a big Berkey water filter, which is 99.99999% pure water. And so
Mm,
I put the oats in there, I pour that in there, and then I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. It's done. Because I try to make it as simple as possible in the morning. So
very, very
yeah,
interesting.
put a little cinnamon on there, a little bit of honey, and it's good to go.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. I got to get my oatmeal. I make it the old-fashioned way, 3 or 4 minutes, and I put it in the bowl in the microwave, and then I'll add a little bit of butter. Sometimes I have some heavy cream in the refrigerator and a little brown sugar, and
Hmm.
it kind of doll it up there. Okay, something that you lost, broke, sold, gave it away, or simply can't find that you wish you still had.
I was thinking about this, and I would say some writing notebooks or things like that. But the thing that I'm most annoyed that I don't have anymore are the Star Wars Kenner, the 1970s Kenner Star Wars toys that my mother sold at a garage sale, including the original Millennium Falcon, as
Ooh,
well as the Death Star playset, which
ooh.
with the foam chunks that would never be sold now because they would kill kids or whatever. Yeah, this thing was about 4 feet high, and if I still had it, even played with, it would be worth a couple $100. And I wouldn't play with it. I mean, I wouldn't sell it. I would have it, but that was the thing that broke my heart to realize that that's gone forever. So for my 50th birthday, I assuaged that pain by buying myself one of the largest Lego sets ever built, which is the Star Wars
Oh.
Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
7,600 pieces. it, co-
oh,
it comes in a
wow.
box about 3 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet. There's 15 sets of bags, and yes, and
Get.
the no, I'm kidding. I'm not even kidding. The instruction manual is 11 by 14 and is 500 pages. So I'm
That's
kind of I
that's
kind of got my mom back for that, but yeah.
that's interesting. Do you know, I read in one of my wacky stories for this show, I think it was last year, I read that Lego is going to be producing the blocks oil free. They're going to
Oh,
be
that's great.
what would you call it? Sustainable
Right.
products, and it's going to be coming next year, and they will not charge more for them. They will absorb the cost.
I got to say, Lego is a really impressive brand on so many fronts. Aside from the imagination,
Yep, you froze again. Let's see if you come back, Jason.
a
Okay,
very
you're back. You froze for about 20
oh,
seconds. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
You can't help it.
they really treat both their customers and the planet well. They're really doing a lot of good stuff.
Good, good. What do I miss? I'm thinking of old music. You brought that up. And I'm thinking that I had quite a record collection of vinyl of 45 RPMs, and my dad used to bring me home. He was a doctor, and sometimes if I wasn't feeling good or whatever, which didn't happen very often, he would call me up and say, "What are your favorite songs right now?" And he would find a record store and he would bring home a couple of 45s for me, which was really nice. And over the years, between his contributions and mine, I collected boxes and boxes of little boxes with a handle we used to carry
I
around.
still have mine.
Do
Yep.
you? Well, when I left Cambridge, Massachusetts, many decades ago, for some reason, and moved cross country to Eugene, for some reason, I didn't pack the records. And I asked my friend, my neighbor, Marie, I'll leave her last name out. I don't know if she's still around. I asked her to, for some reason, I left them with her and said, "Would you ship them to me?" Maybe we just forgot them. Maybe they were in a corner. But I asked her. Marie never shipped my records. There were boxes of them. There might have been 25, 30 records per little box. It was like a little tiny suitcase, little square
Yeah.
box with a handle and a little
Yeah.
flip. And I lost my entire collection of 45s. And I bought several at garage sales after that. But just the fact of being able to know that I had them. I have a bunch of vinyl LPs. I have
Sure.
the 33s, but I don't have my 45s. And I'd say that was something that I shouldn't have lost. I shouldn't have left behind. And I would just like to know I have them around. Something for my kids to get rid of someday. What can I tell you? There you go. I once went to shall we just say, loosely call it a garage sale at a church in on Long Island near where I lived, and they had a next to the main church, I guess the rectory, they had a social hall, and they had people had contributed things to raise money for the church. I don't know how I found it. Must have been a sign I was going somewhere on Jericho Turnpike on Long Island, and I went in. Jason, they had records from the big band era, the records that were in not what we call box sets. It was a hardcover, and in you'd open it up like a book, and inside
Yep.
were paper sleeves with the
Yep.
records inside. And these
I
were
still have
30.
some. Yeah.
Do you? They
Yeah.
had operas, they had plays, they had unbelievable. It was, and I bought a couple and I tried to sell them on eBay, and I was selling a lot on eBay in those days, and nobody. But one day I went to a garage sale in Great Neck where I used to live, and I met shall we say, a clean out dealer. Clean out dealer was hired by people in Manhattan to go clean out the apartments when the relative died or moved to a facility if
Yeah.
they were older. And he was a
Bioremediation specialists.
Yes, and he was allowed to take things for himself to sell, and then he had to put the donations. Let's say there were eyeglasses or there were clothes. He had to get them ready to go to different donation centers or to charities or whatever. And I met this man. I bought a bunch of stuff from his garage sale, and he said, "Come with me and my partner to the city and come on a clean out with us." And we went to what they called a railroad apartment. Do you know what that is?
Yep.
Long and skinny, little
Mm-hmm.
hallway, and
Mm-hmm.
it was all corroded. So we were walking, holding onto the walls. This man who owned that apartment, Jason, had worked for, I think, Channel 13 in Manhattan, and he had artwork from a lot of the famous people who were on
Oh wow.
the different
That's
shows.
cool.
But He collected sheet music.
Hmm.
I mean, hundreds and hundreds of pieces of sheet music from early shows, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And I said to these people, could I buy these and try to sell them on eBay? Buy, 50 or 100 pieces at a time. They want to charge me a fortune. I said, listen, it's old. I'll give you $3 a bag and I'll take 3 bags. So
Hmm.
we made a deal. And
Right.
guess how many I still have here in my piano bench? You don't want to know. But
Yeah.
it's full sets of sheet music from old Broadway shows
Yeah.
with songs you and I have never heard of, many of them, but there are some famous ones. So anyway, I ended up with a lot of that. And sometimes you think you're going to sell them and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Jason, we have an interruption here. Hold on just a second. 1 second. Hold on. Should I take it? Should I take it, Jason?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Hello. Hi. Yes, this is Bonnie D. Yeah, I happen to be here on my show. We Dish, Two Saucy Dame, and Cool. Yeah, that's Jason K. Kristopher. Yeah, yeah. You want to talk? No, you can't talk to him. Not through my phone. What do you want? Steven Spielberg? Christopher Nolan? Quentin Tarantino? Scorsese? Wait a minute. Zemeckis? Clint Eastwood is there? Jason's getting very, very excited or maybe upset. Lauren Michaels? Lauren, get ready for the new season of SNL soon. Seth MacFarlane? You're kidding. Michelle and Robert King? Chuck Lorre? Guy Ritchie? All right, that's enough.
Chuck Lorre.
You must be
Wow.
in a big place or you're all credited. What do you want to know? You want, okay, you want to make either a movie or a TV series with the lead character modeled after Jason Kay. It's not his biopic. Okay, I'm very clear. Jason, you're listening to this? It's
I'm
not his
listening.
biopic, but it's going to have, he's going to pick the director, whether it's TV or movie. He's going to pick the genre. Okay, it could be action, drama, fantasy, musical, romance, comedy, sci-fi, thriller, time travel. Any of those? Okay, fine. And or cartoon, maybe. Maybe it's animated. We didn't put that in there. And he's going to pick the actor to play the lead who is based on him, but it's not his story. Okay, listen, how long are you all going to be there? You're having lunch? It's 1 o'clock. You're on East Coast time like us. Okay, that's fine. I will call you back after the show. I will make sure that Jason knows and he's going to do the work right now, right here on the air live, and we're going to figure it out. I'll get back to you. Thank you all. And please know that I'm a big fan. And those of you I'm not familiar with, I think Jason is. And Jason sends his best. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Wow. They interrupt me on the show so often,
It's
Jason.
it's crazy.
It's
That's
absolutely
crazy.
crazy. So it's up to you now. What is going to be movie or TV? What's the title? The genre? What's the title? What's the lead character going to be called? And what's he or she gonna do? And who's gonna play them? Up to you. What do you think?
Well, I think it would definitely be a movie. I'm not
Okay.
sure there's enough about me or my life to string together enough episodes to do a show, but it would definitely be directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he's my genre, I think, because it's definitely going to be dark comedy horror. So not the Bridge to Terabithia or Pan's Labyrinth kind of dark comedy, but more of like the Hellboy sort of thing. I think I'm thinking Dead Reckoning for the title, and I want
Whoa.
Oscar Isaac to play me because he's Oscar Isaacs, I should say.
Yeah,
He's a fantastic actor.
he is.
He could really pull off that neurotic energy that I have when I'm writing.
Wow.
So
And what would this lead character do? Remember, it's not your biopic, but
right, no,
what would be the storyline? Just give me an idea.
it would be I think it would be a writer who comes across a cursed item, either a pen or maybe a typewriter, some weird sort of typewriter or
Like
something.
like a gasping kind of a thing. Like I
Yeah,
just yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
there's a
exactly.
woman listening and I can't keep her down. Go ahead.
So I think it would be that, and he has to figure out how to get rid of the curse, and also, how to do something funny. There's some kind of gag involved where he has to it's like maybe it's during a dinner party, and he has to
Ooh,
solve this mystery before the dinner party guests die because of this cursed item or something like that. I think he could really pull that off, and Del Toro could pull off the vibe. I think so.
very cool. Anybody else? Any other stars you'd like in your movie?
Uh, well, some of my favorites, recent favorites, I really like Idris Elba. I think he's
Oh,
great.
Oh, be still my
So
heart. Hold,
yeah,
just hold on. Let
yeah.
me calm down now. Okay. All right. I'm calm. Go ahead. Continue.
Idris Elba, I like Jason Statham, although he's a very, you know exactly what you get when you see his movies. So I
Yep.
think it would be nice to give him some more range,
Okay.
or the ability to do some ranges. I love Uma Thurman. I'd love to see her in there as
It's
one of the
quirky.
guests, you
Yes.
know.
Okay.
Um,
She could
and
do it.
Anna Del Armas as
Sure.
uh, she's she's been in a lot of different things. She was in Blade Runner 2049. She
Okay.
was she was a Bond girl. She's been in a bunch of different stuff. She was in a movie with Chris Evans recently, and she was in Knives Out. She was the
Oh, really?
yeah,
I'll
she
have
was
to
the
look her up.
caretaker in Knives Out. If you haven't seen that, that Knives Out and Glass Onion and the new one, they're fantastic, absolutely
I saw
fantastic.
Knives Out. I don't think I
Yeah,
saw Glass Onion yet, but I'll
yeah,
take a look.
she was the caretaker who they thought killed him in Knives Out.
Well,
So
I'll have to
um,
call these directors back and tell them that Del Toro has to come to their next brunch because
sure,
I'll have to put him into my mix of options for my future cool dude guests. Thank you.
sounds
That
good.
was quite an adventure. Wow. And we'll get you a ticket to opening night. Would you like to be a paid consultant on the movie? I think they would be willing.
Absolutely.
I'll get I'll
I
get
don't
you the
need
gig.
necessarily, script approval or anything, but
Oh, sure you do. Sure you do. We'll get you some writing credits in there and
fair enough.
co-writer, screenplay. We need to get you up for
I could do with
a
that. Yeah.
screenwriting. Yeah, we'll take care of you. Mine would simply be a comedy show starring either Bonnie Raitt or Reba McEntire, redhead, and it would be
For
modeled
obvious
on
reasons. Yeah, yeah.
Reba's news show. No, they're redder than I am. Would be I have to talk to my hairdresser about that next week. It would be modeled on Reba's new show, Happy's Place, which is where
Hmm.
she inherits a bar from her father, who passed away, and her sister she never knew she had from her father's affair that they never knew he had shows up, and she's got an MBA in psychology, and she wants to help run the bar, and how do they meeting of the minds and the cultures. The cast is very well done. Many of them I don't know, although Peterson, is it Melissa Peterson? The actress is the comedian is she was the next door neighbor on Young Sheldon. Very, very, very funny
Oh,
comedic actress. She's blonde, and she's really good. But anyway, they've got some actors I've never seen, and they are very, very. And Rex Lynn, who's been in a lot of cop shows, is Reba's current BFF. And
hmm,
he plays the cook with a bandana and a shaved head, and he's kind of grouchy in the kitchen at the bar. But mine would be She Works Hard for the Money. That's what it would be called, or Hot Stuff,
sure.
based on one of the Donna Summer songs I like, or Heaven Knows, that might be the. So mine would be it would be a limited series, 6 episodes, 30 minutes apiece. And by the way, the comedian Leanne Morgan just dropped her new sitcom. And
Hmm.
you won't believe this. I was shocked. 19 minutes long each episode. 19 minutes, 15 episodes, season one. I binged it
Well,
last weekend.
I got to tell you, one of my favorite comedic shows of all time is Con Man with Alan Tudyk, and those episodes are only 10 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, if you especially if you like Alan Tudyk, he and Nathan Fillion, and he has a whole bunch of friends who are guest stars on it, and
Nathan
it's
Fillion
just
is really something. Although I hear in his latest movie he's wearing a blonde wig and he's getting a lot of negative pushback on that.
what he is. But it's I mean that movie. Oh God, that is my Superman movie. It absolutely is, and
Okay.
that the way he portrays that character is spot on, perfect for that character.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
and down to the wig and everything,
Well,
just
he's got a
perfect.
TV series called The Rookie where he's an older guy who
I
becomes a
do.
cop. I
Yeah,
stopped watching it after a couple seasons. I found that the plots were getting a little bit too dicey for me, too strange with babies
sure.
being stolen and all that. That's not my
Yeah,
thing. But I thought he did a good job, but I'll never forget him from Castle.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody knows.
I've been watching him since before Firefly, but yeah, Castle is one of my longtime favorites, and I still watch The Rookie. So
Do you? I
he's
might
one of
go
my
back.
favorite actors.
Yeah,
So
he's really really cool. He's got an affable face. He's got
mhm,
there's always a smile behind whatever he's doing. You always sense that he wants to say something nice, don't you?
right,
There's
yeah,
just something there. Very cool. So we're done with that part of the show. I think. Oh, wait a minute. Vacation favorites. Let me ask you quickly.
sure.
Top three places, one, two, or three you've been to before, and what's on the top of your list to go see or visit next?
My favorite place I've ever been was Hawaii. I biked down Haleakala, as we learned in the poem.
Haleakala, I could say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 10,203 feet. It's the world's steepest paved road, and that was something I will never forget, and is probably the most at home I've ever felt anywhere. But I did really love Italy when I was there as well. Wilson Island is the place I want to go. It's my bucket list trip. It's off the coast of Australia, only reachable by boat from another island, which is also only reachable by boat or helicopter. So it's 12 people max on the island at any one time. I want to go there for a couple of weeks and just absolutely decompress. So
Couple of
that's my
weeks.
travel. Yeah,
Wow, interesting. I don't think there's anywhere I want to go. My whole life is digital now, and my goal is just to keep on
yeah.
meeting
There's
interesting people like you and
there's
getting
no
to
there's
see.
no cell service on Wilson Island. There's barely power. It's solar
Okay.
power, but there's enough. So yeah.
Well, I travel the world through my guests like you. And by the way, I have to tell everybody, I think I said in the beginning, I had never met Jason before, and he was referred to me as a guest for one of my other shows. And I took a look at your bio after I got you to give me all of those wonderful details. And I said, this is a cool dude. We've got to do a one-on-one. And here you are. So this is how I have my adventures these days, is just
Well,
talking to
good.
really interesting, cool dudes. And I get saucy dames to talk to as well. I have another one coming up on Friday. So now let's go to now, in order to do the next segment, Jason, I didn't tell you this and we didn't rehearse it, but you have to be able to say just like this. Say, what? Can you say that?
Say what?
Not bad. Do it one more time. I want to make sure you're okay.
Say what?
Okay, you're good. You're good. We can do it then. Okay, everybody has to pass that little test. It's really
Sure.
important to me. Okay. I told you I used to do stand up now. I just try to be cute sitting down, and I'm told I'm pretty successful at that. So I'm going to let you go first. Why don't you do one of your stories and I'll do one of mine? But I'm going to, you know what? You're not showing any visuals, are you?
Mm-mm.
So you do all three of yours and you talk
Okay.
through them, and then I'll do mine, which are all three going to be on the screen. Okay, so go ahead. What have you got for us?
I've got a couple actually from Smithsonian, which I read more or less regularly. A lot of people know that Ming Dynasty is vases and porcelain are some of the most valuable on Earth. Well, as it turns out, archaeologists last year, a little bit more than a year ago, they found over 900 artifacts from the Ming Dynasty in shipwrecks in the South China Sea. Yeah, and there's more than 10,000 items at the site, and I mean that's a lot to identify. But so far they found about 900 objects from the first vessel: copper coins, pottery, porcelain. They suspect that it was transporting porcelain when it sank in a storm. Um, this is between 1368 and 1644 was the dynasty. So this one is somewhere in there. They're guessing probably around 1500 to 1520, 1521. So, whatever that is, close to 600 years ago. So that was pretty cool.
Very.
Um, the one of the things that I really like because communication is so important to me. One of the things that I was like, what the what? Was mushrooms can communicate with each other using electrical impulses.
What?
Um,
Now what the
yeah,
what?
like literal communication. They average a fungal word length over four species of about 6 words, which is the same average word length in some human languages, such as 4.8 in English and 6 in Russian. They really only use about 15 to 20 of these fungal words frequently, but they last up to 21 hours, some of these impulses, and they have a vocabulary of about 50 words. So that's pretty cool. Being communication is one of my biggest things, both personally and professionally. That sparked a few ideas. You asked earlier where I get my ideas. Well, now I have an idea about mushrooms talking to each other.
Talking
So
much. And what are they saying to each other? What do we know what their
we
50
have no
vocabulary?
idea, really. I mean, the scientists could say they thought they knew, but it's just kind of up in the air. But
I'm going to read your book when you write about the talking mushrooms. Yeah. Okay. You froze again very briefly. Let's see when you come back. Jason,
in
there
fact,
you
my
go.
dog is whining at me right now. Um, I do like cats. And one of the things that I found fantastically interesting is that in Japan, particularly in Tokyo, they have a legacy of feline station masters. So these are cats that are literally given the title station master. They're given a job, they're given identification, they're given, food and water and everything they need. And as of January, there's a new one in the Waikiyama electric railway. This new station master is Gotama, as a charming calico cat. And these station masters are such a huge part of rail life in Japan that they actually have whole cars in the railway dedicated to them. They have a little, almost like a shrine, near. There's one near Kishi Station, and they have several dozen station masters that are cats, and you can even ride the Tama train and meet the cats. So it's really really interesting that they took this and kind of ran with it, because it was one just years and years ago, and people really connected with it, and so they took it and they're like, hey, all right, sure, we'll have officially station masters or cats. So I feel like that's just a great cultural thing to have.
It is. We got to get a picture of that next time you come on. We'll get a picture of that and share it. I'm going to
Sure.
share. I have three stories to share with you, and let me do sharing my screen now. Let's go to desktop and let's see if we can. Can you see my screen now? You should be able
Yep.
to see it. And this story is Canada, because you know Mickey. I thought you might have been Canadian, but you're not. Canada is the home to the world's largest solar panel mural. Did you
Huh.
know that, Jason?
I didn't.
This is
That's
the
cool.
Guinness World Record, and it's located in Edmonton. It's a 12-story residential structure retrofitted with 34,500 square feet of, get this, building integrated photovoltaic panels. It's resulting in an annual reduction of 150 tons of carbon emissions. So there's an environmental reason for this. Starting with year five, the solar generation is projected to save owners and residents $80,000 per year per whatever good is. It must be a website. Cutting carbon and cost, the building is significant for adding to the community. The 85-foot tall mural. Can you see that mural? Is that
Yeah,
something?
it's incredible.
It's titled The Land We Share. It was designed by an indigenous artist named Lance Cardinal. It honors First Nations and Chinese cultures with depictions of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac living in harmony with seven animals that symbolize the Cree sacred grandfather teachings. I thought that was fascinating. Isn't that
Gotta love
gorgeous?
First Nations art. Anything that elevates First Nations, I think is great.
Yep, I want to say, okay, it just came up on the other screen a little bit bigger there. Let's go to the second one here. We'll see if we can get the second story up. Oh, you know what? You know what happened? It went to, okay, it pulled up the website. I clicked the picture. The next story, here we go, is hummingbirds migrate thousands of miles a year. You may have known this. I'm not surprised if you did, Jason. And they give a recipe for nectar in this. But what's interesting is, as the weather turns cold, most of the 365, that's not just days of the year, that's species of hummingbirds in North America. I don't know if you knew this, but I think you do now, and that should be in one of your books. Head to a warmer climate, and they have their own migration preferences. That's because the daylight is decreasing in the late summer and early fall, and they need food. While many other birds migrate, it's uniquely impressive for the hummingbird. The ruby-throated species weighs, Jason, less than a quarter of an ounce. It can fly up to 20 hours on a 500-mile trip across the Gulf of Mexico. According to Hummingbird Central, I don't know who they are, the birds' hearts beat up to 1,260 times a minute during the journey. They flap their wings up to 80 times a second. Can you even imagine that speed, Jason? I can't. They gain 25 to 40% of their body weight. Look at the body weight, a quarter of an ounce, by consuming nectar, sugar water, insects, and spiders during a feeding frenzy, and it has a word for it, hyperphagia. Rolls of flab bulge from their necks as they move their heads, and the food is stored, and it looks like a hump. Interesting?
Hmm.
And they also, you're going to love this, a part of their brains is the hippocampus, which has spatial memory. They can
That's part of
remember
our
the
brains too.
Yes, they can remember the flowers they visited. They often return to the same destinations on the same day every year. They know the route that their elders have flown, even though they've never flown them before. And they have different patterns. Some take longer routes. Some go 3 weeks traveling hundreds or thousands of miles south. Isn't that interesting?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yep. And there are the pictures. And you want to make nectar? Well, okay. 1 part white sugar. It can't be anything else. White sugar and 4 parts boiling water until it dissolves. Cool it and then put it in your feeder. And the last article is Scotland's first champagne. Did you know they made champagne in Scotland?
Well, I'm half Scottish, so it doesn't surprise me, but
Well,
it does surprise me in the sense that I would not have thought it'd be champagne that the Scots were making.
Well, it isn't officially because we know champagne only comes from an approved region in
So
France.
sure,
However,
sure.
this was an older couple, Lorna and Trevor Jackson, had an acre-and-a-half piece of land on their farm in the Scottish borders, and they didn't know what to do with it. It was an old potato farm that was left from their grandfather, apparently, her grandfather. They planted 1,000 vines of grapes just because they could. And they bottled, they had enough for 8 bottles of wine. They called it Borders Bubbly. And Lorna's 64 years old. She said, "We weren't just trying to make a product that tasted like vinegar. We were pleased that it actually is drinkable. And they think it will only get better as the vines mature." The farm is in the village of St. Boswell's in the sole outdoor vineyard. It's the sole outdoor vineyard successfully producing grapes to make wine. And it's in the south of Scotland, so they have a good microclimate. Now, get this. Family and friends helped to dig 1,000 holes to plant the vines. That's a lot of
Yeah,
grapes.
you're gonna need help for that.
And they took a course in viticulture at England's Plumpton College, and they
Hmm.
put in posts and wires and made it look like a vineyard. It's 8 years later, and it's much more established. They harvested 32 pounds of grapes, enough for 8 bottles. So there's a
Well,
picture.
I'm a big wine guy, but I'm not so much a champagne guy, but I'm a big wine guy. I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, I think so. So you could go
Or
look
or
for
or should I
Lauren.
say I'd give it a shot.
There you go. Look for Lorna and Trevor Jackson and Borders Bubbly. That's what you're going to go look for. Borders Bubbly.
All
So I'm
right,
done.
I'll do it.
You'll do it. You'll do
I'll do
it. Okay.
it.
That's very, very good. So we're almost done, but what I have a quite let me put up my audio again for the outro here. Question for you. Okay. A young person comes to me and says, "I saw Jason on your show, Bonnie D. And he is a cool dude in so many ways, for so many reasons, with his interests and his personality and his knowledge and his quest for knowledge and his adventurous spirit." And they say, "What would Jason advise for a young person to become a cool dude like him?" And what would you say?
I would say be authentic. You know, one of the things that so many people get hung up on is what other people will think of them, and perhaps it's the fact that I'm 50 and but I turned 40 and I stopped caring. So I can tell you this: you go out, nobody cares what you look like, nobody cares what you wear to the beach, nobody cares what color your car is, nobody cares about any of that stuff. So it's not the idea that you hear a lot is get over yourself. It's not about getting over yourself. It's about being who you authentically are. And you're going to find that people really connect with you more if that's what you're looking for. And if not, that's okay too. But they connect with you more if you are who you really are. Your authenticity is what connects with people. And you're going to find life is a whole lot easier when you just being yourself. You hear that a lot, be yourself, but it's not that's not as easy as everybody says, and it's not specific advice, right? So just be authentic to yourself in every situation. Just think to yourself, what would I do, and not what would somebody else do. And that's the advice that I would give.
What matters to me? Interesting. I have a quote I'm going to quote. Apparently, Madonna was a guest on Jimmy Kimmel at some point. There's a clip going on the internet I saw today. And Jimmy asked Madonna why she was such a troublemaker. And she replied, "Because artists are here to disturb the peace."
I like that. Yeah, it's very Madonna too.
I
Yeah.
it very and she crossed her leg and she put her hand over yeah and it was it's a short clip. You could probably find it on.
Sure.
I want to say thank you to you. Let's see if we can get a
Thank
little
you.
applause going here. Hold on now. That's for you. That's for you. Jason, take a bow.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
a
you. I
bow.
appreciate
Thank you.
that. Thank
And
you.
you know about what you said about being authentic and being yourself. Sometimes that's the hardest part is figuring out who you are.
It took me 50 years and I'm
And
still learning every day. So
not me too, and not wondering, will people like me or what if they don't?
mhm.
It's, do I like me? Do
Yeah,
I like me? Isn't that really what it comes down to? And I gave up
that's
on the
really what
word,
it comes down to.
I gave up on the word authentic a while ago and I call it real deal with a hyphen.
Sure.
Jason
Sure.
K,
Absolutely.
you're the real deal. So let me play the outro. We're
Thanks.
going to dance a little bit and we'll talk afterwards. So here we go. I wrote the lyrics, Serge sings them, and he wrote the
So
music.
you wanna be
A cool kid.
hanging
With the inset. Not in soul, inset. Cool.
Fine.
Thank you, Jason. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you to Mickey for the
Anytime.
So you
introduction.
wanna be
Drum roll.